Well, the unfortunate news that Sun Devils fans did not want to receive has come to be. Sam Leavitt done for the season, effectively ending the Sun Devils' hopes of getting to the Big 12 title game. That's what this episode is going to be focused on. Welcome to Devil's Advocate with Richie Bradshaw as we talk all things Sun Devils football and a little bit more. It's game day previews, it's recruiting, and all the news that you need to stay up to date on the Arizona State Sun Devils. I'm Richie Bradshaw, and I wish we had better things to talk about today. Uh, little update here. I will not be doing a game day preview for Iowa State because the game kicks off at 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning for local time. We're just not going to have time to get that in, and this is a far more pressing matter than a game day preview. If you want my quick little thoughts, this does not change my opinion because I was going to take ASU to win regardless because I already knew that Sam Leavitt was not going to play. And Jordan Tyson likely not playing. Look, it does impact things for sure, but I still like the way that this roster is built to take on Iowa State, and Iowa State is also dealing with a lot of injuries. So this game's not going to be as exciting as we thought it would be going into the year. It happens, right? The whole weekend there was a tweet that someone had put out like months ago, and it was like, I will refuse to do anything on Saturday, November 1st. I am busy, and there was like 6 or 7 ranked on ranked matchups, and the weekend is arrived, and he's like, wow, this aged like milk, and like so many of the matchups he highlighted just aren't very good. And this is one of those games. This was supposed to be the revenge game for the Big 12 championship. There would have been a possibility that College Game Day would have gone out to Ames for this game. Obviously, the storyline was massive, and both ASU and Iowa State were in positions to run it back. Now, we know that injuries are a great way to derail that, which is how we got to this point. So, you want my thoughts for Iowa State? I'll give them to you right now. I think ASU wins the game. I think it's going to be an insanely ugly game. Hopefully, ASU is going to lean on the run game with Levitt out, with Tyson likely out. Get the ball to Shimon Mateer, get it to Derek Eusebio, take a few shots to Jaron Hamilton, but otherwise, I want to see Jeff Sims. I'm not exaggerating. I want to see him get 20 carries. I want to see Raleek Brown get 20 carries, and I want to see the rest of the guys get mixed in as well. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this show, which is Sam Leavitt is done for the year. I'm just going to give you my overall thoughts to start. Overall thoughts here for Sam Leavitt being done for the year. I have no notes on this. This is just my overall feelings, and I don't think this is going to take very long because I do have a script for the rest of the show. But my overall thoughts when I woke up and I saw the news, I'm just devastated. It felt like that meme of the Facebook screenshot, and the guy has a profile picture of him like frowning, and someone in the comments was like, "You should smile more." And the guy replied to the comment, and he said, "There's nothing to smile about in my life." Like, that's just kind of how it feels being an ASU fan right now. The season hasn't gone the way that we were hoping it would. There was the upset to Mississippi State. There was the blowout to Utah, and there was the out physicaled loss to Houston. Those 3 losses doomed your season very, very quickly. We talked earlier this week about how there was like mathematically like a 20-ish% chance that ASU would get to the Big 12 title game. And it's not as though that's dashed necessarily mathematically, but without Sam Leavitt, yeah, you're basically out, man. There is a scenario where you can go 4-0 because the schedule is so soft, but I don't know that that's a possibility. I do think that ASU is susceptible to an upset now. They need to be very careful with the U of A game because U of A is going to be looking for revenge, and they are a bounce back team this year. They've been much better than they were a year ago. They're going to have revenge on their mind. This game became a lot more dangerous considering Leavitt is out. I don't like that trip to Colorado. Colorado has had some upsets that they've pulled off this year against Big 12 teams. It's not a good team, but there are guys who can beat you. And that game just got really scary, especially because you guessed it, they have a mobile quarterback with Caden Salters. He's going to look at ASU's defense and he's going to be like, yeah, they've been carved up all year by running quarterbacks. I'm gonna give them the worst beatdown that they've had, and he has that capability. He's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the Big 12, and I know he's been up and down, but I feel like Caden Salters is more good than he is bad. So that game makes me nervous. U of A makes me nervous. West Virginia is arguably the bottom feeder in the Big 12. I'm not super nervous for that game. Iowa State is a potential loss. It was already a potential loss. You were playing it without Sam Leavitt no matter what. This is not a great scenario for ASU. I think there's a very realistic chance that ASU goes into the U of A game 6-5. And I mean, the good news, you're a bowl team at that point, but ASU wasn't looking to be a bowl team this year. ASU was looking to be a 10-win program. They were looking to contend for a Big 12 title and win a Big 12 title and get back to the college football playoff. That's where ASU was at. They're going to be nowhere near that. So a potential 6-6 season, a potential 7-5 season, a potential 8-4 season, it's good, and it certainly fits the bill of what ASU fans like to see on an annual basis. But when you get that taste of the playoff, that's not what you were hoping. Losing Sam Leavitt dashes those hopes. Again, it's not impossible for ASU to just get on a run and start playing to their strengths. They could just start running the you know what out of the football with Sims and with Raleek Brown. By the way, Cam Dyer is active. I did not think that he was going to be good at any point this year. He is the backup quarterback right now going into the Iowa State game. We are going to see him this year. If for no other reason than if ASU does start getting pummeled in some of these games, they're going to put him out there because they want to see what they have. They're going to want to see, is Cam Dyer a viable option for the future? Because we talk a lot about Jake Fetty. I've talked a lot about Jake Fetty before, and Jake Fetty is one of the most popular names with ASU fans as a prized possession, a super high 4-star Texas quarterback for the 2026 class. He has been perceived as the quarterback of the future. We have overlooked Cam Dyer, and that Cam Dyer is potentially the quarterback of the future. I don't think there's an athlete on the roster that does what he does because he is a quarterback and he's a dual threat quarterback. But a lot of people forget that he was recruited by Hines Ward, and Hines Ward had talked to him about moving to wide receiver. I mean, Cam Dyer said as much, but Kenny shut that down. He said, no. This is a quarterback. I need him in the quarterback room. But I mean, that's the level of talent that we're talking about here with Cam Dyer, is someone who can do multiple things, someone who can wear multiple hats for your offense. There's not an athlete on the team that does the things that Cam Dyer does. We will see him, and I expect that we will see a lot of him. The thing right now is Cam Dyer can finish the season and still maintain his red shirt. That includes a bowl game. You have to play no more than 4 games to maintain a red shirt. But as we found out with Malik McClain last year, and as many other players across the nation have found out, postseason, which includes bowl games, not just the college football playoff, do not count against your eligibility for the season for your red shirt. So even if ASU had gone all the way to the national championship game and Malik McClain played every single one of those games, he would have still maintained his red shirt because he only appeared in, I think, 2 games in the regular season. So Cam Dyer has a possible 5 games to play the 4 remaining on the regular schedule, and if ASU does get to be bowl eligible, which they only need 1 win to get bowl eligible, Dyer could play 5 games, and that's a pretty nice sample size. That's almost half a regular season for college football. That's pretty good. Now, I do anticipate they're going to be very careful with him because he is coming off of ACL surgery. You can't just throw him to the wolves, especially a true freshman against Power 4 competition. So ASU will need to be careful with that. But I do anticipate we see a lot of Cam Dyer, and Cam Dyer will advertise himself as the quarterback of the future or have that opportunity. So bringing it back, how does this all pertain to Sam Leavitt? Well, with Sam Leavitt being gone, I think that's a lot of what we're going to see. And again, we'll break this down more too. In fact, that's what's coming up next is a much more detailed version of what's to come for ASU. But I anticipate that we're going to see a lot of quarterback rotation for this team. I anticipate we're going to see a lot of new wrinkles in the offense. We could see a massively run heavy approach because Jeff Sims is a limited passer. We can call it what it is. We've seen him for several seasons in college football and multiple programs. We know he's a limited passer. When he transferred to ASU last year, I floated the idea around of moving him to tight end. I mean, we know that he's not the best quarterback in the world, but he is a great athlete. So I would love to see ASU lean into a super run heavy attack, especially depending on Jordan Tyson, right? I would love to see ASU start to really explore options with their defense. So many of these guys are seniors. We've seen some really good things from them. The pass rush has developed, but we haven't seen the turnovers. Well, let's try and mix some things up. You've got nothing to lose. And a team that has nothing to lose is as dangerous as you're going to find. That's a reason why ASU can win out. That's a reason why ASU can finish the regular season 9-3, even without Sam Leavitt, because they've got nothing to lose. They're not going to the Big 12 championship game. Sure, they're playing for a bowl game, but right now they're playing for the future. They're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. They're trying to get a good assessment of the roster. So when the offseason rolls around and the transfer portal opens, and believe me, ASU is going to be busy birds during the transfer portal. They're going to figure out what they got and what they have with Sam Leavitt potentially returning. And again, that's coming up later on the show. This team is going to be vastly influenced over the next 5 games for what we may see next year because there's nothing to lose, and this is going to be a huge assessment of the roster overall. There are still a lot of players who have eligibility to return. I think a lot of people look at the amount of seniors that are on the team, most of the offensive line, the the number 2 receiver for the team, the number 1 tight end for the team, almost the entire defensive line, almost the entire linebacking core, several defensive backs are all seniors. ASU is going to lose a lot of guys, but ASU has recruited well, and they have a lot of youngsters who are getting field time and look good. It's not as though ASU was going to go into 2026 and be bottom feeders. They were still going to be looked at as a contender. If Sam Leavitt returns, and I do think there's a chance he does, that is just going to increase what happens. So overall thoughts, I would tell you that this team has nothing to lose. They are going to be playing for opportunities to show that they can still contend without a number 1 quarterback, an NFL level quarterback. They're going to play around with the youngsters on this team who have been redshirting and who have been getting time behind the transfers and the seniors and everything like that. I just expect that Kenny Dillingham and Marcus Arroyo offensively are going to throw whatever they can at the wall. Throw the refrigerator, throw the kitchen sink. Let's see what happens. That's my overall thoughts. What comes next for the Sun Devils? Let's talk about that in much more detail. What comes next for the Sun Devils? Well, again, this is a very manageable remainder of the season for the Sun Devils. Of their final 4 remaining games, They are visiting Iowa State. They have a bye week. That actually comes at a really good time. You're going to find out how the team looks during the bye week, and then or you're gonna find out how they look against Iowa State without Sam Leavitt, without Jordan Tyson. You have a week to go over how to finish the rest of the season. So even if you lose, you have a week to game plan for 3 more games and potentially come out and sweep those games. So ASU could finish with an 8-4 regular season record. That's not bad, all things considered. From there, you're hosting West Virginia, you're visiting Colorado, and you're hosting Arizona. West Virginia, again, they're arguably the bottom feeders of the Big 12. And ASU should be able to take advantage of that, no matter who's at quarterback. And again, this team's going to be much healthier with a bye week in between. As long as Jordan Tyson is not dealing with something season ending, and I don't think he is, then and it's still possible we see him against Iowa State. He's listed doubtful. That doesn't mean he's out. I wouldn't count on it, but we could see it. He could be healthy and near 100% for West Virginia. Hamstrings are very difficult. You just don't know what to do with them. They can ruin your whole season, or they could just hold you back for a couple of games. So West Virginia should be a win. It should be a big win. At Colorado, I just mentioned that I'm nervous about this game far more than I was previously. Should ASU win? Yes, they should. Did the playing field just get evened? Uh, Drastically. I stand firm. ASU is the better team. I'm not backing off that, but it is difficult to look at Colorado as a guaranteed win without Sam Leavitt. And then hosting Arizona, that game just got so much more intense. I am not a firm believer that ASU without Sam Leavitt is completely derailed for the season to where they're going to lose out. This is not a 5-7 football team. That's not happening. I will eat crow if I'm wrong. It's not going to happen. That Territorial Cup game is going to mean a lot to both teams. U of A is looking for revenge, and ASU is looking to end the year on a hot note, and they're certainly looking to prove a point that, yeah, we don't need Sam Leavitt on the field to beat down our rivals. This game is going to be intense. There is a potential for this game to wind up being U of A's season. They have 5 games remaining. They're at Colorado tomorrow. That is not a guaranteed win. We've seen, we have seen Colorado play up to their opponents this year. U of A also, by the way, has lost their last 2 games. They host Kansas. Tucson has been a pretty difficult place to play this year. They should be able to handle that. Kansas is still a good team. They're visiting Cincinnati. Who would have thought Cincy was as good as they are? That should be a loss. Hosting Baylor. Don't know what to do with them. Baylor should have been so much better than they actually are, and that's just not been the case. So don't know what to do with Baylor. And then they're at Arizona State. And at 4-3, there is a chance that they go into this game at 5-6. Do I think they will? Probably not. But there's that chance that that game has even more meaning to U of A as they try to get bowl eligibility. So that's where we're at for the remainder of the season. 4-0 is still possible. It is. This does not change my outlook for Iowa State. I was already going into this game knowing Sam Leavitt was not going to play. So Sam Leavitt being out for the year has literally no impact on how I look at the Iowa State game. I still think it's a win. I think it is a super, super ugly game, and both these teams are just going to do whatever they can. ASU has nothing left to lose. Iowa State is trying to save their season. Um, we'll see what happens there. So, what comes next beyond the schedule? So, Jeff Sims is likely going to lead the way. I assume ASU would like to finish the season with momentum. Yes, I do think there's going to be a lot of playing around with the roster, and I encourage that big time. ASU definitely needs to see what they have. They need to see how this is going to work out. But ASU also is going to look at this roster and they're going to go, we have a lot of veterans. We have a lot of guys who deserve to finish their collegiate career with a postseason game, whether that's the Sun Bowl or the Pop Tart Bowl, or maybe something a little more important if you can find the way to win 9 games. There is going to be a big reason for ASU to continue playing really good football to end the season. Do not just assume that ASU is going to be rolling over on their back moving forward. And Sam Leavitt is a massive factor, sure, but Jeff Sims can still run the offense good enough. The weapons are in place. Probably don't have Jordan Tyson tomorrow. You still have Raleek Brown. You still have Shimon Mateer. You still have an offense that can be tailored to his strengths. I think that ASU will have an opportunity to figure it out and be good to go moving forward. But I do anticipate we're going to see a lot of Jeff Sims. If ASU wants to finish the year with momentum, then we'll put it as simply as this: Sims gives you the best opportunity. The backup quarterbacks behind Sims, literally nothing. There are no snaps in college football for any of these guys. None for Christian Hunt, none for Michael Tolfson, and none for Cam Dyer. If you're trying to end the season hot, then Jeff Sims is the only option. Short of Dyer or Tolfson or Hunt coming out into a game and just dominating, it's not going to happen. Sims is going to lead the way for ASU to finish the year. Put your faith into him right now. I know that that's not going to be the easiest thing to do. I know that a lot of college football fans and followers are aware that Sims is a limited player. He is a limited quarterback. He can still win games, but we're just going to have to wait and see. At ASU, he's 0-2 as a starter. He's lost on the road at Cincinnati, and he's lost on the road at Utah. He will have 2 home games. Let's see how that goes. But it does make this a much more bleak outlook for ASU. Let's talk about those youngsters, because Cam Dyer has been cleared to return to the field. He still maintains his eligibility, which that should, for eligibility for the redshirt, that should greatly impact how much we see him on the field, because ASU is not going to be trying to protect that redshirt year by holding him out of a game. They're going to look and they're going to go, you can literally, if we wanted and we cleared him to be the starter for the remainder of the season, he still has his red shirt, 4 regular season games and a potential bowl game. That fits the criteria. Your postseason games do not count against your redshirt eligibility. Cam Dyer could start and play 100% of the snaps for the remainder of the season. That's not going to happen, but he could. And he still would be a redshirt freshman next year. And he would have 4 years of eligibility. That's phenomenal. And because of that, again, I do think we're going to see a lot of Cam Dyer on the football field. And I am super for that. I said earlier about Jake Fetty. He is perceived as the quarterback of the future. We have overlooked Cam Dyer. A huge reason why is he was injured. We were not expecting to see him this year. I was not expecting to see him this year. I thought he was going to be done for the whole year. But he's been cleared. Now that does not mean he's going to be what he was in high school in his first 5 games, potential 5 games. He may not look like the athlete because he's rebuilding the confidence in his knee, and he is trying to rebuild the way that he plays the game. Things could be very different or nothing could change. Mentality is very different for every individual. Some guys need some time to get back to full confidence from a knee injury. Some guys are just good to go. We don't know which side of the coin that Cam Dyer is. What we do know is he's got a lot of time for the remainder of the season to get comfortable, to get snaps, to get on the field. As long as ASU is confident with that, he is medically cleared. That does not mean that ASU is a fan. But if they are a fan of getting him on the field, I assume we're going to see a lot. And we're going to see him throwing the ball, and we're going to see him running the ball because they're going to want to see everything out of him. He's not going to come out for specific running packages only. If they trust Dyer to get on the field, he's going to play quarterback and he's going to throw the football. I'm excited for it. I hope that we get that chance. I think I'm positive. I'm confident. That's better. I'm confident that we will see him get the ball a lot. It is worth remembering as well that Michael Tollefson is still here. Speaking of things that we forget, Tollefson was one of the first big gets of Kenny Dillingham's recruiting, and he was the big quarterback get aside from Jaden Rashada. When he committed in 2024, he's been committed for like 2 years. No, it would have been 2023 because he was this year. So he had been committed to ASU for 2 years. And when he initially committed, he was a 4-star recruit. Now, he dropped down to a 3-star because his senior season went off the rails. There was eligibility issues when he was at high school in California. He moved down to Arizona. He hopped on a team midway through the season, did not play the way that we have seen previously. Michael Tollefson is still a very good quarterback. The 4-star potential didn't just disappear with him. It was just a massively crazy season that he had to overcome. And he's been sitting and learning. We could see him this year. Michael Tolson also has an opportunity to advertise himself as the future of the program. Do you think that Tollefson is suddenly just out of it? No, not at all. Tollefson is very much still in the running to be the starting quarterback for ASU for the future, for 2026 and beyond. Just remember that. I'm not guaranteeing you that we see Tollefson. In fact, I don't know that we will because Sims is going to stay on the field as much as possible. And the first guy that they're going to call up, and we see on the depth chart, is Cam Dyer. But it's just worth remembering that Michael Butter Tollefson is still on this team. And then for what it's worth, Christian Hunt is out there or on the roster. I do not expect to see Christian Hunt whatsoever, but he's there. And if God forbid, and knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but God forbid the injuries pile up at the quarterback position, he is available. He's probably quarterback 4. He might be quarterback 3 ahead of Tollefson. ASU's got guys to try out after Sims. None of them have collegiate snaps. We're going to find out how they look. Let's see. Bottom line here, though, don't expect Sims to play 100% of the snaps over the final 4 to 5 games because ASU is going to want to try out what they have. But if ASU is about finishing the season with momentum, then I highly anticipate that we're going to see Sims the most out of those guys. How is the future affected for the Sun Devils with Leavitt being done? So, the biggest factor here, Leavitt is primed to return for 2026. One of our biggest questions going into the year is what does quarterback look like beyond 2025? Because Leavitt, starting this year, was officially eligible for the draft as a redshirt sophomore. He had 4 games played at Michigan State before he transferred to ASU. He played last season and dominated last season. It's what threw him into first round conversations. This year, bit of a slower start, but you know what? Still looked pretty good when he was out there. He is a dominant runner, dominant dual threat. Uh, College Football 26, the video game, they totally got it wrong when they put him down as a pocket passer, and I hope that CFB 27 corrects that to him being a dual threat quarterback, because he is. The passing didn't take the massive step forward that we were hoping it did, but we continue to see him take care of the football. He had 3 interceptions in the first 2 games. He did not throw a pick the rest of the year. From that point on, over the final 5 games that he played, he had 7 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. 60% pass completion, right in that ballpark. He had been running the football as well as he had all year. Sam Leavitt is good at football. And Sam Leavitt proved again this year that the pieces are there for him to grow and get better. Now, another season, I think even if he had finished the year, even if he had played out the final 4, potential 5 games of the year, the odds that he was going to return for 2026 were very high. The season excuse me. The season just has not gone the way that we were hoping to offensively, and we have seen ups and downs from Leavitt. We have seen really good games from him, and we've seen some pretty poor games from him this year. So, with it not being the season that we hoped, and certainly not the season that Sam had hoped for, the odds of him returning for 2026 were drastically higher by this point in the year than they were during the offseason. During the offseason, we were all under the assumption he was gone. I feel pretty confident he's back. If I had to assign a percentage, I'd say 90. I'd say 90% positive he's back, and 90%, or I'd be 100% positive if he returned. We'll go 99% because there's always that possibility that he would stay at Arizona State. Could he transfer? Yeah, there's going to be some openings across the country. Penn State's going to be looking for a new guy. There's a potential for Alabama to try out some guys. Clemson's going to be looking for a new quarterback. USC could potentially be looking for a guy. There's going to be openings across the country. Sam returns. He's going to get the phone calls again. He got them last offseason. He will get them again. But he loves where he's at. He had mentioned that he feels he's getting ready for the pros at this program. I don't see any reason that would have changed. So I think that Sam is coming back, and I think that Sam is guaranteed to be a Sun Devil. If he does confirm, he is going to be back with the program, which Sam's return is going to continue making ASU a contender on an annual basis. He's that guy. I can ensure that Sam would be a Sun Devil, all but unsure at that point. Also, Sam's return will influence more guys to stay. We talked earlier, this roster is going to have a major overhaul. There are a lot of seniors on this team. They're losing a ton of their offensive production, a ton of their defensive production, so much of their defensive production. Several starters are going to be gone after this year. They're out of eligibility. So we looked at 2026 and we said 2025 has to be the year. You have got to make that push because 2026 is going to be a reset year because you're going to lose Leavitt, you're going to lose Tyson, you're going to lose your offensive line, and you're going to lose the majority of your defense. 2026 does not feel like a reset year anymore. 2026 feels like a rebound year because with Leavitt returning, the odds that you are retaining some of your more important players just got so much higher. We'll talk about who's returning, but so many of your guys that could have potentially entered the portal for a better opportunity, they are going to stay. Jordan Tyson could stay. He's been banged up this year. He has looked excellent. He may not be satisfied with the way that the injuries have plagued him a little bit, with the way that the hamstring has slowed him down. He could return because Leavitt is back. Do I think he will? Absolutely not. Because even with the way that his play has been down, quote unquote, he is still perceived as a top 10 pick, potentially a top 5 pick. He's still perceived as the number one receiver in the class, certainly top 3. He's all but guaranteed to be a first round pick, short of something catastrophic. And again, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. There is a very slim, very, very slim chance he returns. And I am telling you to put it out of your mind. Probably not going to happen. Could it? Sure. The only reason he would is Sam Leavitt returning. And Sam Leavitt is returning. That could influence Jordan Tyson to stay. It could. I don't think it will, but it could. It will open the opportunity for a lot of other guys to stay too. It also will influence the transfer portal. Huge influence on the transfer portal. Let's go back to Jordan Tyson because Tyson is leaving. 95% chance he leaves. There is going to be a wide open door for wide receiver 1. Now, guys on the roster will get that chance first. Jalen Moss was talked about as that guy. He's been dealing with injuries. Maybe healthy Jalen Moss ends the year strong. He could be your number 1. Derek Eusebio will advertise himself. Jaron Hamilton will advertise himself. There's other guys who are on the roster that didn't get on the field that will advertise themselves. But then the transfer portal is going to open up. And what these receivers are going to see is Arizona State without Jordan Tyson, how much Sam Leavitt loved to throw to Jordan Tyson. They're going to be like, that is a huge target share that I could inherit if I go to Tempe, Arizona and win that job. Because Sam Leavitt and Jordan Tyson are just completely on the same page with each other at all times that they're on the field. They are the best quarterback to receiver combo in the country when those two are dialed in. With Tyson gone, guys are just going to look and they're going to go, I would love that. If I'm trying to go pro, and if I can get 10 targets a game with an NFL caliber quarterback, sounds pretty good to me. That sounds like a really good opportunity to come to the program and be Leavitt's best friend. And that also will influence tight ends because Shimon Mateer is gone. And I've liked what we have seen from some of the other guys. We do not see them enough. Kamari Anderson has not gotten on the field for what I believe he should be getting on the field. And oh my gosh, I can't. Cameron Harple, there we go. Cameron Harple has looked good in his opportunities, but Mateer is gone. Harple is gone. Anderson can return. There's an opening at tight end to be Leavitt's number 1 guy because Leavitt loves Mateer and he hasn't really spread the ball out to the rest of the guys. That opportunity will be there. But again, a top tight end could look and they go, there's my opportunity. I can be number 1 tight end. I can see a really good target share too. Leavitt's return is going to influence guys to stay, and it's going to have a massive influence on the transfer portal. A lot of offensive players will see that and they will go, yeah, I would love to catch passes from Sam Leavitt. I would love to be in a Kenny Dillingham offense. I would love to be in the Marcus Arroyo offense. I would love to work with Jason Mons, the tight end coach, Hines Ward, the wide receivers coach. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on here with Leavitt's return. And of course, his return ensures the continuity at quarterback. It also leads to one of the most important situations that you have in college football is your head coach, your offensive coordinator, and your quarterback would return. Continuity like that leads to national championships. It is a very, very real thing that we see. Is ASU going to win a national championship? I don't know. It really depends how next offseason goes. But I do know that statistically, your odds get much better because you have Leavitt, Arroyo, and Dillingham returning. As for the recruits, I don't really see these guys leaving. Starting with Jake Fetty, he's been dialed into the Sun Devils, even with the knowledge that Leavitt could always return and that Leavitt had 2 more years of eligibility when Fetty came. He's not taken visits anywhere else, and he's not really entertained other programs. I feel like Fetty is all about this team, and Fetty also has every opportunity to be the future of the team. If Leavitt returns and Leavitt stays healthy and dominates next year, he will go pro. He will go into the 2027 class. Fetty likely has a redshirt year, and then he comes out and he has the opportunity to step right into those shoes. I do not see Levitt's return deterring Fetty from committing to the program. If he has this mindset, and I do think he does, because he has done nothing but betray that, I do think that he's going to stay. There's a great opportunity for the rest of the guys to stay. Another important thing to remember is Jeff Sims is out of eligibility. So yeah, Sam Levitt's returning, probably. Who's quarterback two? Well, that is now wide, wide open. Anticipate ASU to add a quarterback in the transfer portal. They'd be irresponsible not to. But that still is a wide open battle for Cam Dyer, for Christian Hunt, for Michael Tollefson, for Jake Fetty, and whoever else might be joining the program to be the primary backup to Sam Leavitt. That is worth its weight in gold. And that's why I don't see many, if any, of these guys transferring. I could see one guy end up leaving, because if you're going to be QB3 or QB4, that's tough to do. Remember, there is no spring portal, though, so they have to make this decision now. When the portal opens up in January, they have to make the decision. If they get beat out in camp, they get beat out in camp. And I love that, by the way. I love that there's only one portal window, because it does not encourage kids to quit just because they lose out on a battle. It encourages them to make a decision beforehand. Do I think there's a better opportunity for me? If you choose not to and you lose out, then you're just going to spend some time learning. You're going to spend more time competing. That's what we need. I don't think we're going to see a massive shakeup at the quarterback spot. I think Leavitt is returning. I know that Sims is out of eligibility, and I feel very confident that the youngsters are going to go, sweet, here's my chance. Here's my chance to come in and take over as the primary backup and the future of the team. This is all very, very big for those guys. All right. Let's wrap it up. How should we be feeling about 2026? So here's the thing with 2026. It provided that Leavitt returns. And the majority of the conversation of this episode has been on the precedent that Leavitt is back for 2026. You have the stability at quarterback that will influence the offensive stability. Dillingham, Arroyo, and Leavitt is a great trio. I know that Arroyo's play calling has been up and down this year. I know a lot of people have been critical of Kenny Dillingham, and I also know that Sam Leavitt has taken a step back. We can admit all of that. We can also look and go, continuity is the most important thing, and having those back is great. This should also give fans so much more confidence than they had before. 2026, during this past summer, we looked at 2026 and we said that's a reset year. We said 2025 has to be it. You have to win. You have to win the Big 12. You have to get to the college football playoff. You have to make a run. This had to be the season. It hasn't been. ASU still has a chance to win 10 games. That's still on the table. You win out the regular season, you win your bowl game. ASU can still win 10 games. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but they're probably not going to. And for all intents and purposes, this season just flat out has not gone ASU's way. It just hasn't. But 2026, provided Leavitt returns, and I'm very confident he will, your outlook just got so much significantly better, drastically better. You went from looking at it as it's a reset year, let's make a bowl game, to, hey, we're going to contend for the Big 12 again. When you have a quarterback of Sam Leavitt's caliber, an NFL level quarterback who is starting for a third straight season, second year with the same it'd be three years starting, 3 years with Marcus Arroyo, 3 years with Kenny Dillingham. Yeah, that's so big, man. That's huge. That should influence fans at such a ridiculous level that instead of looking and going, we should be a bowl team, you can go, hey, why can't we win the Big 12? Big 12's wide open every year. Wide open every year. What are the rest of the teams going to do? Texas Tech spent a lot of money, and they have a really good recruiting class next year. They have 2 5-stars, but they're losing a lot of their best players. What's going to happen with Houston? What's going to happen with BYU? What's going to happen with Kansas State? What's going to happen with Baylor? There's going to be so much shifting in the Big 12 on an annual basis, but ASU is going to maintain quarterback, offensive coordinator, and head coach. That's how you stay atop. I mentioned earlier that ASU has a lot of guys who can return on offense too, by the way. Yeah, I think ASU is going to be just fine on offense. Pending transfers, ASU is returning their entire backfield. Do I think they will? No. I think at least one guy is going to transfer, potentially more than that. But Raleek Brown, the leading rusher, is back. Kyson Brown will have a red shirt. He is back. Kane Udo, he is eligible for one more season. Jason Brown, he is going to be a redshirt sophomore. He is back. Man Robinson, depending on how much more time he gets on the field this year, and he's seen the field a lot more than I thought he would, he will be back as well. And then they've got some recruits. You will return your entire backfield pending transfers. I do anticipate transfers, but it's there. You have your role play receivers coming back who can inherit bigger roles. Jordan Tyson is gone. Malik McLean is gone. But Derek Eusebio, I love him. He has really impressed me. He is going to be back. Jaron Hamilton, we have seen some big time flashes from him. He is going to be back. Jalen Moss, Corey Butler, Zechariah Sample, the host of other guys who weren't able to get on the field this year. Noble Johnson, Harry Hossman. That receiving core is going to be back. You look at it right now. Who's your number one? Well, you're going to have to figure out who number one is. And quite frankly, you're not going to have Jordan Tyson, but you may have a host of really good receivers. Tight end, you're losing Shimon Mateer. That's a big blow. And you are also losing Cameron Harpole, which he has inherited a much bigger role than I thought. But Kamari Anderson is back. AJ Ia is back. James Giggy is back. Colson Arenz is back. Jaden Fortier, he should be back. We have not seen him due to injuries. I don't know if some of these guys are going to want to stay because they don't get on the field. But assuming they do, you lost your number one tight end and probably tight end too. I feel like it's fair to say that that Harpole has been tight end too this year. You lost your number one receiver, but you're just returning so much that Sam Leavitt has had an opportunity to grow with. How many of these guys have been here since Sam Leavitt has been here? A good chunk of them. He has chemistry with these players. The offensive line is going to be revamped. You should anticipate that to be the top priority. I liked the offensive line going into the year. I was not one of the not critiques. I can't think of the term right now. Critics. There we go. I was not one of the critics of the offensive line. I thought they played well last year, and I thought that the stability of bringing back 4 or 5 starters was going to lead to a good season. That has not been the case. That offensive line has very much struggled, and they have allowed 25 sacks this year. Sam Leavitt was sacked 19 times. The offensive line is gone. The 4 or 5 starters that are back, all 4 of them are out of eligibility. They're gone. There are young guys on the team. There are guys I'm excited about. I'm excited for Champ Westbrooks. I'm excited for Terrell Kim. I'm excited for Jalen Clem. We'll see what we can get out of some of the rest of the guys. But this is going to be super heavy transfer portal, adding some offensive linemen. And similar to with Tyson and Mateer being gone, offensive linemen in the portal are going to look and they're going to go, I can start right away. I can immediately be the starting left tackle for the team as long as I go out and I compete and I play to my level. There's going to be a massive opportunity for these guys to step in to huge roles for the team. They're just going to get better. There are top recruits coming in. Jake Fetty, I anticipate he will be here. Carde Mack, a 4-star running back. That's looking pretty good. 2 4-star tight ends because Jason Mons just recruits at a ridiculous level. Keeping that room deep because you have 4-star Hayden Vercher and you have 4-star Landon Landon Myrie. There's going to be more than enough here on offense. Sam Leavitt returns. You revamp the offensive line and you give him just a host of weapons. One of the biggest questions that I have right now, I want to see Sam Leavitt distribute the ball better than he has because he does love throwing to Jordan Tyson. And we saw that each of the 2 years that he has started. In year 1, he dumped the ball off a lot to Cam Scadaboo. This year, Tyson had 57 receptions. Next closest, Shimon Mateer with 25. Relief Brown had 27. Shimon Mateer had 25. There's not a lot of distribution on this offense to the receivers. That's a huge challenge, for Sam Leavitt next year. But they are placing him in a spot where he's got more than enough dudes to trust, more than enough dudes to build up the confidence to say, hey, I don't need an NFL top 10, top 5 talent receiver. I have more than enough quality receivers to just get it done. And again, to just say it till I'm blue in the face, same head coach, same offensive coordinator. That continuity matters a lot. So how's 2026 look? How should we feel about 2026? We should feel 100 times more confident than we already did. Or let's try again. 100 one more time. 100 times more confident than we did before. It was a reset year. There were not high expectations for 2026. You had to win this year. That is no longer the case, provided Sam Leavitt returns. And that's the majority of everything we just talked about is this is provided Sam Leavitt returns. Your confidence should be much, much higher in this team to contend again for the Big 12. It'll also give an opportunity for the young quarterbacks who would have been forced into starting roles. Jake Fetty had a huge, huge possibility to start day 1 as a true freshman. That can go either way. It could go Jaden Daniels or it can go Jaden Rashada. ASU has seen both sides of that coin. But Leavitt will return. We know what we got. We have an NFL quarterback. Fetty can take some time learning. Dyer can take some time learning. The rest of the guys can continue to learn as well. This is a great, great situation for 2026. The rest of the season, we'll wait and see, and we'll talk about it bit by bit. But keep your expectations low. They can win 10 games. They will not win 10 games. ASU goes 8-5 this year. That's a major success in my book. Let's see how the season ends. The sky is falling for sure, but we also have to look and realize this season was not going the way we wanted it to. Sam Leavitt staying was probably not going to change the outlook because of how much is out of our control at this point in time. 2026 just got a lot more brighter though. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to Devil's Advocate. If you have not hit subscribe yet, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit like, leave a comment, turn on notifications. I am so excited that this podcast has been rolling as fast as it has been. We're looking forward to keeping this around. We will be talking again on Monday about the Iowa State game. By the way, I know I did not get to the conversations I teased on Monday this week. That was on purpose because of how much is changing, and the Sam Leavitt thing threw another big wrench into it. I'd like to talk about it next week. I think there's a real chance that is for the end of the season with the way that everything is changing. But if you want to make sure you don't miss that episode, then make sure that you are subscribed to the show. Catch you guys later. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been Devil's Digest. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's try again. This has been Devil's Advocate with Richie Bradshaw.